Barry Bonds is a better player than Ted Williams.
Wow.
I almost lost it because I started crying, and I thought there is no Grandpa at 100% now is going to die because there's no way he's going to come back from that and live that down with at the dinner table. So you get Ray Boone to say Barry Bonds is the best. That's enough for me. Anybody that ever asked me a question, I said, I wish Gramps was here. But if Gramps says he's the best, and that would take a lot to do, he must have been the best.
Now, back to Steiny and Guru on 95.7 The Game.
All right, so that was Aaron Boone this morning with the Morning Roast talking. Oh, it was Brett Boone.
I was going to say, they got the skip.
they
got the Yankees manager on in the middle of
Where's the heat?
Damn.
Hey, what's up, boy? Look at Steiny. No, he's hot for other reasons. We'll get into it.
It was Daniel Boone, actually.
Nahegan said Aaron to me when he's telling the story.
Wow. They got a game tonight in L.A.
Anyway, can I put some context to that, please? Anyway, it was Ray Boone was that Boone's granddad, who always maintained Ted Williams was the best hitter in baseball, or best player of all time. And on his deathbed, I guess he couldn't talk, so he wrote a note and said, "You were right. Barry Bonds is the greatest player of all time."
On his deathbed?
Somehow that's
I think
sad
so,
to
because
me,
he said Gramps was going to die.
It's like families gathered around. Oh, Grandpa's got
But it's
one
the
more
love
thing
for
to write
ball,
down.
though, Willard.
He's going to tell us something about them.
But
And
it's
he's
the
like,
love for
Barry
ball, though.
Bonds is better than Ted.
I ain't mad at it. It's the love for baseball, Willard. We got to get to it.
By the way,
Okay.
before we do, you're listening to The Crossover, brought to you by the California Academy of Sciences. Every visit supports the Academy's mission to regenerate the natural world. Learn more and reserve your ticket at calacademy.org.
I never said Aaron Boone. I said Brett Boone.
Wow.
What the hell is that?
Wow. He's hot, too. He just took his Little League frustration out on you. Look at him.
Man.
He wanted to do that to the umpire the other night. He just let it out on Steiny.
I'm mad at you.
No, you said
That's a three.
it's okay.
His arms
verbal
are like
type.
away from his body.
Dude,
You know when the
I
arms
heard
get
it.
like,
I don't even have to look
you're
at
like
him.
leaning in.
Steiny sips his
I
water.
make enough mistakes that when I don't make a mistake, I shouldn't be called out.
Hey,
That's right.
Keep
my score right. Yeah.
Amen to that.
I was wondering how the hell they got Aaron Boone on this morning.
He's in L.A.
Good get.
Yeah, good get. That
get.
was great.
Mid-plane.
But that was just for the Boone family. That's how much they love ball. That's why I love that he probably. I mean, he could have wrote anything. But,
No, I like what Mark is talking about because it's like, Grandpa, oh my God, Grandpa, I love you. And Grandpa's like, hold on 1 second.
the money's under.
Give me a piece of paper and a pen. I've got one last thing to say to you, grandkids.
That sounds a little bit like Hamlin saying, "Did we win?"
Dude,
Totally.
Really?
Exactly.
we need a little therapy. Steiny and I. That's the first time.
Fire
Now,
away.
we're all different.
Matt, bring
we
in the
all,
couch.
We all like different things.
The
And for real, I'm
couch.
paying for disappointment. But HBO announced that they're doing a documentary on Barry Lamar Bonds.
Indeed.
I tweeted this. I cannot sleep because I cannot wait to watch this subject matter of Barry Lamar Bonds that gives you not just Disney, it gives you the Victor Conti, all of the stuff.
But does it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'm
and
not
I believe
buying it.
HBO wouldn't waste their resources if it wasn't compelling. And PSA, Barry won't be a part of it. But just like that Tiger doc,
Hold on.
which was fascinating that HBO did, it was incredible. So I'm all in. And Steiny's kind of
Talk to me about Barry won't be a part of it.
he's doing something different. He said he's not going to be affiliated with this, and something bigger is coming.
Right.
From him and his people, but HBO's still moving forward with
And
it.
HBO said we welcome Barry to be a part of this,
But he said he's not. Just like Tiger wasn't a part of his doc, but it was incredible.
I will
Hey,
predict
it's Tiger.
right now that changes.
You think Bonds will be in on it?
I think that this is a negotiation sensation.
That's a
what
buzz.
you
it's
think
about.
everything
Is this
about
a
the
source
dollar.
report? Or
Because we had one today we got to get to. Yeah.
I'm
So
not
he'll do it
reporting
if he gets
anything.
paid?
I'm not reporting anything. I'm just telling you
Thanks.
that.
You think it's about the money?
Thanks.
Oh no, I have no idea what it's
okay.
about.
It's more about
No,
I have
the
no
reason
Jackson.
Barry's
I have
not
no
part
idea
of
whatever.
the HBO right now.
I just I think that Barry is
Negotiating.
potentially opening up to the idea of his story being shared. Oh, that's what I think.
incredible.
And there is a decent chance that we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way.
Right. And
Some things.
It's
Some things.
fascinating, though,
Some
in
things.
terms of his story, because his story from his perspective is different than his story from, say, Lance Williams or Mark Fainaru-Wada's perspective. So where's HBO in terms of the actual story?
No doubt.
Well, like anytime you're doing content and it's somebody who's been through a journey and maybe there's some controversy, you have to tell it from a one perspective, or you have to gather everybody and do it from all perspectives.
Right.
And think about it from HBO's perspective. If you want Barry involved, then Fainaru-Wada is probably not going to be. Because Barry's like, well, I'm not, like, right? That story actually is the one that has been told. And I don't know what story this one is. Is it all about steroids? Barry is a lot more.
I have no idea, Mark.
Barry's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
And I would be interested in all the other parts too.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, I think he probably feels like that's the only side of the story that's been told because he's never talked. So if he's going to be involved, I would think it has to be the other perspective.
I told Steiny, well, there'll be some. This may not make the doc, but I find it fascinating that Barry Lamar Bonds got ready for a game in another sector of the clubhouse away from his teammates. Like, will there be scorned teammates that talk about that?
Wait, I thought it was in the clubhouse,
the way he handled the media, I believe all that in a bundle is why you're not in the hall. It's part of the reason to me.
Sounds like you know the story
I feel like they're going
already.
to go down that route.
Well,
I hear the stories, but this is where you get more info.
What's the deal with the chair? I thought the chair was
The
in
recliner.
the clubhouse.
It absolutely
no, it was.
was.
but
Okay, not
away from-
separate.
Yeah, it was
No,
away
he
from
had
there.
3 lockers. So
Okay.
it was his locker, and then there was a buffer on either side, and then it was the rest of the
gosh.
people.
Yeah, so he's still in the room with him.
Sure.
That's like you getting ready for the show somewhere else because it wouldn't work.
But can I say this?
For me.
The man's about to turn 60 years old.
And he looks great.
And I don't think that is who he is in retirement. They're like, listen to me. Let me tell you something. The love fest of Kobe Bryant in death and retirement is not what his teammates thought of him when he was playing.
I totally believe that.
Guys get toward the end of their career, they start to see that the way they're treating people in some cases, and I get the tunnel vision, the maniacal tunnel vision of being one of the all-time greats, but they start to see that this is going to bleed into all the other parts of their lives, and it's probably going to be a pretty lonely existence, and you start to see guys make changes. Kobe did it brilliantly. I think Barry has taken longer. He's not the personality that Kobe was.
And it may be too late for Barry.
Right. And I don't, by the way, I don't want this to sound like I know Barry. I don't. Yeah. I don't. But I think that he's getting there. Yeah. And I don't think he's that guy anymore. I think I think he has a hard time letting people in. Yeah. But I don't think he's this exclusionary. I just don't think that's where he's at anymore.
And I can't make Steiny like country or rap music, Dibs, but I just thought Barry Bonds is I know why HBO signed off on he's polarizing to me. And Steiny was like, yeah, I kind of know the story.
Listen,
I can't get mad at him.
I just don't like documentaries. To me, Bonds grew up with us. So I just prefer documentaries where you're going to see kind of new stuff, maybe new footage, I do not think.
Like Evan mentioned, we don't know about his upbringing. Steiny, Pops has stuff going on.
I said, I'd rather see a documentary on Bobby, tell you the truth. Yeah. And you know what? Like, this is going to sound really bad, but I don't mean it. He's just a baseball player. A great one, but.
No, but he's an interesting story.
Some don't even recognize him as the home run king.
Yeah, his life is an interesting story.
Is it?
I think so.
I can't wait.
Think so.
I mean, the one thing that I'd love for him to open up on his dad and growing up with his dad.
Right.
And that's the part I'd like to know.
But
how
if he's
his
not
dad,
even a part of it, if he's not going to be on camera talking about these things, then what's the documentary really going to tell us? Because to me, and you're right, Steiny, in terms of like the documentary, I want to know what I don't know. And what I don't know are how was it growing up as Bobby's kid, and what did you go through during all of the years where people thought that you did something that you either did or didn't do.
Right.
That's what I want to know.
Yes. For me, it's like Barry Bonds. The one thing about Barry Bonds that's been boiled down is, well, he doesn't like the media because he saw the way the media treated his dad. But that's all we know about it. Now that, I'd like to That'll open up. I would like to hear more about that.
I'm interested in all of it. Like, let me ask you this: Do you care what he's doing now?
Not really.
You don't?
No.
See, that's.
I think he's just. I think he's.
But I
doing
think
a lot
he's
of
a social
biking.
butterfly now.
He is doing a lot of biking. Actually, he loves biking.
He loves
I
to
know
do
I think
that.
he's at peace with
He loves-
himself
he loves
now.
to cycle.
I think
Yep.
he's
Yeah,
at peace.
exactly. I think he is too.
Okay, and I'm gonna say this to Dibs' point, and I got to just bring this up: the Tiger doc. He wasn't a part of it, and I'm not in no position to make judgment of anybody. But when they showed that trailer, that Tiger, when he was a young pup golfing,
my God.
what his father was doing, rest in peace, Earl, is a womanizer. You can't tell me that didn't have any effect on Tiger. What we know now was part of his downfall. Like, that's interesting to me. That was a factoid I never knew nothing about. That was major.
Every human being is sent a certain way by their parents and their surroundings, and then you give that to your kids, and then they do it like now.
But my point, Mark,
they've
is
got
you
to
can
recover from
captivate
us.
that without the subject matter being a part of the doc.
Sure.
Because you did that with Tiger, was all I was saying.
But when you said you found out about Tiger in the van, you said it was unbelievable. I didn't know that.
Right.
Well, I don't know about Bonds and his dad, Barry. Barry and his dad, Bobby. But you know what? I know enough about the steroid stuff. I don't.
And I'm gonna say
don't
something
care
else
about
about the doc. I always thought, not weird, because family is everything. Was he closer to his godfather than he was his father? Like, when I hear them talk about each other, sometimes it's like, I don't know. I'm just like, I wonder if that will present itself.
Well, he lost his father obviously a lot earlier, and was in the midst of a lot of this stuff at that time. So maybe Willie ended up having to sub in for a lot of it. I don't know, for whatever reason.
But I'm in.
I'm interested in any of it. I by the way, Steiny, I would doubt that no matter who's telling it, I would doubt that it's going to be 95% about steroids. I think Barry's story is so much bigger than that. I think there's so many different aspects to it than that. Why would, if that's the whole story, then I would ask HBO why they're even chasing it.
That to me is the crux of the story, though, because the reason why Barry Bonds is, the home run king is on the back of whatever he did to cheat the game. And so to me, that is the actual peak of the arc of the story. But yes, he's a son of a major leaguer, and I have a good friend of mine who grew up with Barry, and so he knows Barry from way back in the days on the peninsula and all the rest of it. And then he becomes Barry Bonds. He goes to Pittsburgh. He throws a 12-hop throw home. He gets, he comes to San Francisco and all the rest of it. To me, the peak of the story, the crux of it, is when he becomes the home run champ, and how and why. So as much as, it's not 95% about steroids, to me, the documentary still centers around, did he or didn't he? Why did he not?
Okay, can I read?
Well said.
I'm
And
gonna
if
read
it's
this.
not addressed, then I'm out.
Can we read this from The Athletic?
Okay.
And this was written yesterday.
All right, give it to us.
Okay, about the fact that the HBO doc is coming, and a release date
You have one?
has yet to be announced. Keep that in mind. What they're saying, HBO and Words Pictures said in a statement that they're currently in production on a documentary chronicling Barry Bonds, one of the greatest talents in history of baseball, most compelling, polarizing figures in all sports. They added, the filmmakers will include a diverse cast of influential figures from Barry Bonds' life and career, and the opportunity for Bonds to actively participate and share his firsthand experiences remains available.
So you might be onto something.
Okay, and then there's a whole section about will Bonds be a part of the documentary. The last line of this news release is what is found most interesting, the opportunity for Bonds to actively the one that I just read. Tells me this is not going to be a repeat of Bonds on Bonds. The poorly received ESPN documentary in 2006, 10 episodes before the network, goes on and on. He going to be part of it. I think.
I'm more excited
He's
if
gonna be
you end
part
up
of it.
being right.
Yeah.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco and Odyssey Station. I just don't want to hear guys like us talking about Barry Bonds on a documentary. You know what I mean? Like when they get the media guys from the telling you everything you know already.
Right.
That's all.
If he doesn't talk
I'm
about,
going to use Mark Ibanez here because we love him.
Like,
I don't need to see Mark
Steiny's out.
I don't need to see
out.
No. I don't need to see Mark Ibanez talking about Barry Bonds.
Right.
That's all. Love you, Mark.
I don't need to see Barry Bonds talking about how he saw the 1-2 slider and, I happen to see the spin of the ball better than most. If Barry's going to talk, I want to hear him talk about the one question that we all have.
Okay.
And if he doesn't answer that, then I'm out.
And I believe it
And
was
he's not going to, so it's a tune out for me.
Was it the Game of Shadows to where his partner,
Right.
He saw McGuire and Sosa having that home run thing, and he was like, you know what? I'm better than them too, and that was the incentive to, if you wanted to get dirty. And maybe they have somebody that said that the young, I don't know, but like that's what I want to see, hoping to see and hear from.
Is Victor Conti going to be in this? Is Greg Anderson going to be in this?
And how much did they give
that's a good call.
If those two are in there,
oh
then
my
now
gosh,
it's compelling.
no doubt.
If Victor is going to talk about the Balco lot, no.
How much is that worth?
It's worth millions, right?
Willard, he didn't. I'd have been. Mark told me. He went and did his time.
Greg did the time.
That's all Willard.
So I don't. Greg and Victor aren't in it, then and Barry's not going to talk. Then to me, it's a fluff piece.
And it's Disney.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know the angle. We don't know the angle.
Right.
The fact that
they must feel they got something.
Well, the fact that they're even attempting, obviously they're attempting to have Bonds be a part of this, tells me that A, it's either not all about steroids, or B, they feel like Barry has never had a chance to really speak on this. I wonder, in fact, if there is this sort of tone being put, maybe the negotiations aren't about money. Maybe the negotiations are about the angle.
Content, yeah.
Content.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Wow. You guys going to ask me what's in my box?
Oh, my God.
What's in the box?
No, you supported me.
What's in the box?
No, real quick, let me just.
It's after 2, though. No.
Norm would
Well,
say,
you have
let
one
me
of those
check my
folders on
partner.
top of it, like that you usually bring home when you open a new
I
bank
got a
account.
call at 2:15
Right.
with my rep that
Like,
I'll
where-
check in every 2 days, and I'm going to start my diet. It was good for Bonte.
It's a lifestyle. It's not a
25, 30.
diet.
But what just hurt me is you've been supportive. You've been a butterfly
been.
all morning long.
I have been.
The guys walk in, and he's like,
Well, it's 2:05.
Yeah.
Well, that explains
Did you do
Mark.
the legal, by the way?
I did.
He did.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
jumped
What
right
about
in
his
there.
announcement? That he got sources saying that Dunleavy is his
Oh,
job
we're
if they
gonna-
can give him the money.
we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna
Dibs,
talk about it.
you made
I
a
mean-
look. What was the look?
Yeah, well,
My look was if I had that report, that source report, I would be driving that thing into the ground. Every other sentence I would say would be talking about my source report. And I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And you have a source report. Woj doesn't have it. Shams doesn't have it. Jay Glazer, Rap Sheet, Schefter.
Look
none of
at
them.
that. I told him to tweet
But
it.
here's the
You
thing.
should be hammering that thing.
Because Willard, you dropped the bomb a couple
I gotta go
weeks
down to the
ago.
old ship
this
first.
is a man who was
Okay.
named in the Bob Myers sayonara
for
press
name or
conference,
shame?
stuff like this.
Oh, I thought you were
His
going to
old
mention.
hat.
He
I
did
thought you were
that.
going to mention my Associated Press Award in 1997.
I wasn't.
For breaking news story.
But will you be
Mid-major
talking?
paper.
Will you be talking on the Bob Myers retirement documentary that's going to be released in 11 years?
I should be.
Will they come to Steinmetz?
I
mean,
watch it. If he
Yeah,
actually
I'm out.
retired.
I'm out.
Yeah.
That's true. I know everything about Bob.
Unless-
and he's not that compelling.
Unless they've got
We love
Myers
you, Bob.
talking, I'm out.
Yeah, look at you. I love you.
Yeah, that's what that look was for. If it was
Yeah.
my report, my source report, I would be like the cock of the walk.
Yeah.
I would be, but the chest would be out.
I
I would
told
be
him to
mentioning
tweet
it
it.
every
But
sentence.
Bob said it's up to Mike. So it's just following up
But
on that.
that was
Yeah,
after
I-
he said some other words, though, Steiny.
But
It
the
wasn't like,
station retweeted it. It's your report. Own
it
it.
is.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed by your report, but yeah, I thought it was kind of obvious that Mike Dunleavy's going to be the next general manager
There
the
you
whole
go.
time.
See, Willard knows how
taking points
Willard knows how to
away.
stick it to
I
me.
love it, Willard. I'm trying to build my
Right?
guy up.
Willard
Will.
stuck
But
it
great,
in
but
me.
great job.
Yeah,
Great job.
right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to build
Whoa,
him
whoa,
up.
whoa.
and
My
Willard's
source.
like-
Hold on, I got something.
Yeah, wait till
My
Larry
sources-
Harris gets named.
My sources are reporting that tomorrow is Saturday. That's I got
Wow.
sources.
See?
I got
Wow.
sources.
See? Yeah.
Willard has his source report, and all we did was talk about his source report.
Wow,
So
yeah.
We got to
You know.
get to the Bonte tweet.
Someone else outsourced it. What's the
We
Monte
are
tweet?
so close to getting out of here.
You are,
on
but
great
you turn
terms.
into a different, like a gremlin
No,
after
what
too.
he tweet?
Are you riding with certain Bay Area players?
Oh, that
and
one.
we
Oh,
touched
yeah.
it. But do you understand the genesis of what that means?
I do.
Well, it could
Because to me, it's
because
just having the
I
players
understand it,
back.
yeah.
Like Klay Thompson. If
well,
I think
the genesis of what it means is up to Bonte.
No.
He tweeted it.
No, but the word writing is
Sure.
Bonte didn't invent that word, that verbiage.
Right.
So I'm just telling you, to me, it means
Of course.
I got Mark's back.
Yeah.
I'm riding with Mark to the end. I'm riding with Trey Lance on I just want to find out, or you please let us find out what the kid can do.
I think this is the question, and we said this
That's
yesterday.
right.
This is the question. I get that, but there is an obvious follow-up question, which does that mean that you are, A, just in his corner in a general sense, or
Good follow-up.
are you saying that he should start week 1 no matter what? That's the follow-up.
Now, this is with the Brock Purdy and everything that's going on, Will, and I get that. It's nuanced in the sense that I would slow play Brock Purdy.
Okay.
And that's why I would have more incentive as an organization say, oh, this is an awesome time. This will be your second time, young man, Trey Lance, to start week 1 so we can really see what you can do with this Ferrari in the backfield that's changed the fortunes of our offense.
Would you look Trent Williams in the face and tell him?
I told him last year at this time when he started under center against the Chicago Bears.
Right, but that was
There was no Brock Purdy then.
there wasn't right. That was
Well,
that
what if
was
the health is the reason to where Brock will kind of just take care of himself? And
Well, then I think the
it's
situation
natural.
takes care of
Yeah.
itself. But it's not trending that way.
do
It's
you
trending
think
that he's going to be
All
ready.
I'm gonna ask you too because I know Stein.
If he worries.
Do you think Trey has the goods, or are you like, are we too soon to say he doesn't?
Oh, I don't. Who's saying that?
No, I'm asking.
Yeah, we're
there
definitely.
are some that are like
Of
he's
course.
done. Trade him.
No, I don't think you do that unless.
I just want to see. That's what I'm riding with.
But it's a trade-off. We all want to see. We all want to see what Trey can do. Are you willing to take the risk of sacrificing games to do it? It's a risk.
All right.